Walter and Cordelia Knott had a dream. And with that dream, they took a few acres of berries, a little money, lots of courage, and built one of the nation's greatest entertainment centers. In 1920, Walter Knott moved his family to Buena Park and opened a small roadside berry stand. In those days, Orange County was farmland as far as the eye could see. With the help of his wife Cordelia and their 4 children, Virginia, Russell, Tony, and Marion, Walter Knott fought off the effects of the Great Depression.
October 29, 1929. The bottom fell out of the New York stock market today, leaving millions penniless.
In 1932, Walter located some scrawny and tangled vines growing in a nearby orange grove. These vines were originally developed by Rudolph Boysen. Walter Knott babied them and developed a luscious berry that was a cross between a blackberry, loganberry, and raspberry. He named it boysenberry. Every boysenberry in the world today can trace its heritage to those original vines. From Cordelia's kitchen came the world's first boysenberry pies, followed by her famous chicken dinners. Knott's Berry Farm was on its way.
This busy lady is Mrs. Cordelia Knott. This is her kitchen. She's got a lot of help now, but Mrs. Knott runs her kitchen today just as she did back in 1934. That was the year Knott's Berry Farm served their first chicken dinners. Mrs. Knott cooked them, of course, and they were served by her daughters on the family wedding china to 8 people that first day. Mrs. Knott couldn't have dreamed what she started that afternoon.
In later years, a visit to that original berry stand must have brought back a flood of memories. Knott's Old Time Adventures. What a perfect name, for it's a nostalgic trip back through our nation's past. And it's the official home of Snoopy, Charlie Brown, Lucy, and the entire Peanuts gang. Knott's is a gold mine of entertainment and education for young people of all ages. Walter Knott began his farm with a famous ghost town, and it's still the heart and soul of the park. It aims to recapture the charms and excitement of our favorite times in Western history.
Thank you.
Many of the buildings, like the Bottle House and Old Red Schoolhouse, are authentic transplants from ghost towns across the West. The 1870 schoolhouse was painstakingly taken apart back in Kansas and then reassembled here. At the Calico Saloon, you may think you've been transported 100 years back in time. As we wander through the picturesque streets of Ghost Town, everything we see sure seems to tell us we're back in those days when most men were cowboys and women wore those fluffy skirts. Why, you can even relive that time yourself with a visit to the picture gallery. The authentic blacksmith's forge actually stood on a nearby farm and was moved to Ghost Town in 1940.
What's the first thing I'm going to do to this to change the shape? Yes, Butch? Heat it up, that's right. We know if we heat it...
1009, 1010,
Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is put this in water. Now, if I put this in the water and make the water boil, you know it's at least 212 degrees Fahrenheit because that's the temperature water boils.
Boot Hill Cemetery and its well-known tombstones are always good for a round of chuckles. Right here, you can become an honest-to-goodness sourdough. Pan for real gold in an authentic sluice box. And you can take home all the gold that you pan.
Clear sand, you have to go this way. And also gold is 19 pounds. You're doing fine. The idea is take your time. You're 2 days in the river. You got about close to $2 worth of real gold there. That's 22 karat. Mr. Knox gets it from Alaska.
Wow, how did you get it there?
Always turn your bottle sideways like that and you can see it.
At the old jail, be careful. There's a real desperado inside.
Now there you go. That mean old sheriff says, "Hello, friend, how you been?"
And at the barber shop, watch out for One-Eyed Ike. The Knott's Wild West stunt shows are world famous. Everywhere you look at Knott's, you see something to snap. So don't forget your camera. And if you've ever longed to relive those adventurous days of the Old West, catch an original Butterfield stand. You'll have a rowdy ride back through time. Don't let the bullet hole in the door bother you. That happened years ago. Afterwards, take a stroll along Indian trails, where storytellers, musicians, and dancers celebrate the remarkable heritage of Native Americans. While in Indian trails, you can watch, listen, and learn about traditional Native American arts, such as wood and canoe carving. Some teepees feature authentic artifacts and historic items.
That we got up here, it's a nice little circle, and again, doing that and then follow with your right foot. If you listen closely, you kind of get the rhythm of the drum. Start with your feet, so that left foot, get it up and down on the beat of the drum.
Here at the Mystery Lodge, the tales of the old storyteller come alive with unforgettable special effects.
I was sitting in the lap of my grandmother. She told me stories. Her stories taught me to see the magic and love in all life. Grandmother also told stories of my people and of heroes and spirits and magic and wonder. Stories of Omahwe, the king of the sea, who brings wealth to our people. And of Raven, the mischief maker, who is always playing tricks on you. And Thunderbird, bringer of lightning.
Here at Calico Square is the heart of Knott's Berry Farm. Surrounding this large open area is a vast assortment of outstanding attractions. One of these is the Calico Mine Company Railroad. It's been rumored that this train was actually robbed by Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid. Inside, you'll see miners hard at work, mining ore by the dim light of their lanterns. And there's more, too. Waterfalls. Even stalagmites and stalactites. Over at the Haunted Shack, there's so many strange sights you wouldn't have believed them if you hadn't seen them with your own eyes.
All right, guys, as we all know, old Sam was a prospector. He came out here every morning to his trough and poured some water in his trough. He knew if the water went downhill, he'd have a good day of prospecting, and if the water went uphill, he'd have a bad day of prospecting, and he'd go straight back to bed. Now, Sam only had 2 rules when you were playing pool with him. The first rule was that you had to bet all your money. Second rule was that he always got to shoot first.
Over at the shooting gallery, you can practice your sharp shooting skills. Nearby, the log ride has been copied but never equaled. Just give it a try and you'll have the thrill of your life, propelled along through the darkness by 24,000 gallons of water per minute. You'll rush past loggers, under waterfalls, and through passages leading to who knows where. If you can open your eyes. Most people that climb aboard the Ghost Town and Calico Railroad's old train don't realize that they're boarding one of the most famous trains in America. This 1881 locomotive proudly pulls the only narrow-gauge passenger train in the United States on a year-round schedule. You may be in for some trouble, though, because this train gets robbed just about every trip. But it's all in fun. Well, this ends our adventures in Ghost Town. We have traveled back through time to visit the Old West, and we've seen a lot of reminders of those wonderful days of yesteryear. But we certainly aren't finished yet. There is one heck of a lot more to see here at Knott's Berry Farm. When it gets hot, here's one way folks in the Old West never had to cool off. Bigfoot Rapids. Here at Charleston Circle, you'll find a shady retreat from all the action. Nearby are some unique shops you won't want to miss. Certainly won't want to miss the outstanding shows at the Good Time Theater. Why, you might even just see some of the biggest stars around. You can challenge your friends to a variety of high-tech games in the Buffalo Nickel Arcade. Kingdom of the Dinosaurs takes you back in time, millions of years, to a time when the pterodactyl, stegosaurus, and T-Rex ruled the earth. You're now in the Boardwalk area of the farm, where the fun never stops. But for the undisputed best view of the farm, head on over to the Sky Jump. You're looking at it. At 20 stories, it's the tallest of its kind in the world. And it even has a sky cab that revolves as it goes up and down. From the top, you'll have a great view of Knott's Windjammer. America's only outdoor dueling roller coasters race side by side to the finish. At the Pacific Pavilion, you'll have a complete change of atmosphere as you watch the delightful antics of some incredible marine mammals. The zany tricks of some comical sea lions. And the graceful performance of some lovable dolphins. The massive boomerang is just the thing to get your heart pounding. This 11-story roller coaster has 6 loops to propel you into new heights of exhilarating fun. One ride sure to provide an adrenaline rush is the Hammerhead. This attraction takes you up, down, over, under, forward, and backwards, all at the same time. And there's a surprise thrown in at the end.
Your ride on the Hammerhead is coming to an end.
Fiesta Village was designed as a tribute to the charm of early California. Here, you can stroll to the music of mariachi bands and browse through gift markets. Fiesta Village is also home to an iron monster without mercy. The Jaguar takes you on a twisting, high-speed tour over Fiesta Village and Reflection Lake. Afterward, try your skills at a variety of games, including the water cannons. Be careful on the Mexican hat dance ride. You might feel like you're spinning out of control. If you're still feeling brave, hang on as Montezuma's Revenge catapults you through a huge upside-down loop forwards and backwards. The incredible Waterworks is a sound, light, and water spectacular that will astound you. After dark, it becomes an unforgettable entertainment extravaganza, with jets of water dancing to music and soaring upwards to nearly 100 feet. You know, there are endless reasons to come and visit Knott's Berry Farm. But the very reason it all began back in 1920 just still might be the best one. Food. Just plain good food. And lots of it. Every kind, size, and type that you can imagine. You'll find them all here at the farm. Since 1934, Mrs. Knott's Chicken Dinner Restaurant has served over 20 million guests. The menu still features Cordelia's famous chicken, biscuits, and boysenberry pie. And the shops. Why, there seems to be no end to them. People come from all over just to shop at Knott's. There's food stores of all kinds. And of course, all the famous Knott's jams and jellies you could ever want. There's an almost endless variety of other gift shops, and some of them are about the finest you'll ever come across. Many areas of the farm are just plain beautiful. You can stroll among the fountains and waterfalls, admiring the panoramas of colorful flowers that adorn the walkways and hang from the walls. The farm also has its very own lake and even a river. If so inclined, you may wish to take a ride on the Walter Knott, a replica of a paddle wheel steamer of long ago. The tranquil Church of Reflections is located amidst stately trees and flowering gardens on the bank of Reflection Lake. The church has provided a dramatic setting for many weddings. Walter and Cordelia would be right proud if they could see Camp Snoopy. It's been created for youngsters of all ages. You'll see Snoopy, Lucy, Charlie Brown, and Linus too. There's so much fun to be had here, it's hard to know where to begin. We call it the camp that Snoopy built. Brave troopers, both young and old, can sway high over the rapids on a creaking suspension bridge. Explore the waterfalls and rapids from close up. For some more hands-on fun, stop by Smokey's Animal Friends Show. You will be entertained by wild animals from around the world and learn a valuable message about their habitat. You might even get to touch a giant snake.
There you go. Not everyone gets the chance to touch a snake, Taylor. So can you kind of explain what she feels like? She's very dry. She's not wet or slimy like most people think, is she?
No, but she's very heavy.
Oh, that's right.
There just doesn't seem to be an end to this giant funhouse. There's balloons to fly in. Take a ride on the camp bus. Bowls to crawl through. Pads to bounce on. And planes to fly in. Camp Snoopy is indeed a mountain camp full of adventures. A true and proper home for a true and proper hero. At the petting zoo, you can love and pet all sorts of critters. At the koi ponds, you'll see some of the biggest goldfish and Japanese koi found anywhere. You can ride a puppy-sized roller coaster called the Timberline Twister through a mountain forest, too. And if that's too tame for you, then how about this great Ferris wheel, guaranteed to make even the brave squeamish? At the Inventor's Workshop, you can learn the hands-on secrets behind electricity, magnetic attraction, and other scientific fascinations. Knott's Berry Farm is so big, and there are so many things to see. Well, how many places do you know that have 2 trains? Not many, right? Well, the farm actually has 3 trains. You'll see so many things on this ride you won't believe it. Each October for over 25 years, Knott's has presented the Halloween Haunt. Hideous monsters and beasts ooze out of the cool California night.
See you in your dreams.
Uniquely re-themed rides, horrific mazes, and sinister stages will startle and terrify you. Of all the wonderful things that you have experienced at the farm, nothing has prepared you for the inspiring sight of Independence Hall. This replica of our nation's most hallowed building was Walter Knott's most cherished achievement. It has been painstakingly recreated down to the most minute detail. Even the bricks are exact replicas of the ones used in Philadelphia. Here in the assembly room, 56 brave men signed the Declaration of Independence. You can hear an authentic recreation of that debate. Every chair, every desk, even the pens tell a story about the birth of our great nation. In the tower room, sitting majestically on a cherry red pedestal, is the magnificent 2,075-pound Liberty Bell. This replica of Independence Hall stands as a reminder of our treasured past and an inspiration for the future. From Walter and Cordelia's humble fruit stand has grown one of America's great treasures, Knott's Berry Farm. America's first themed amusement park is a place where extraordinary things happen every day.